One of my coworkers see this. I don't apologize. That's one, but I'm not gonna get into details. But if your coworker, they might be a great person, but they say something that offends you, let them know. But tell them is, hey, we're still cool. Let them know at this point. Don't let it continue and make it bigger than it is. Because once it's bigger than it is, then you become enemies, then you become rivals, and it's just you don't want that drama. So as soon as it happened, nip it in the bud. Have that private conversation, one on one, saying, "Hey, what you did, I was very uncomfortable," and let them know. Set your boundaries right then and they understand what boundary it is. And I'm gonna be honest with you. What was the conversation? It was if I do sound political, if I do sound race, I'm gonna talk about race. And honestly, it's my perspective, and I'm not trying to enforce anyone to do what I've done, but honestly, one of my coworkers, he knows that I smoke weed once in a blue moon. I don't do it constantly. I'm going to, I did it for research, and I'm going to do a review on marijuana. And after, maybe in 2 videos from now or 3 videos from now. But we was having a conversation based on, I was really, let's just say, really stoned. Let's be honest, I was really stoned. And you couldn't tell necessarily, but me and him so I literally told him, hey, you know what I mean? I'm stoned. So like, I imposed the accident function. You know what I mean? It's a joke, you know what I mean? Because you're real cool. And then, out loud, like 2 minutes later or a few seconds in, that coworker was saying, out loud, you gotta buy off of me. And such and such. And I looked at him, are you serious right now? Like, and at the moment, like, I'm not saying that coworkers are not cool. I'm saying that this is not. Even if they were or weren't, they be comfortable because honestly, I'm pretty much the only young black man around here. I mean, there's more, but it's like they're in different departments. They're on. Like they don't, like I don't physically work with them. It's just the people who I work with, who I see on a consistent basis every single day. When I'm clocking in and clocking out, all that, I'm the only black young man. And all of them is in their late 40s, early 50s, late 50s. And I'm in my early 30s. I'm close to my late 20s. But nevertheless, but it's like, okay, so now it's just like, now you bringing up the stereotype. Okay, that since I know maybe it's not that deep, and I feel like I'm defending my thoughts because I don't want. Actually, fuck it. Excuse me for my language, but let me know what your comment. Maybe I went too deep on that. Maybe, but I did tell him, hey, now I'm not because what he said. I'm not comfortable even being high anymore. Around you, well, around you or where I was at, because you made it uncomfortable for me. Because since I'm the only young black male, since I'm the only black male technically, but young black male, I don't want people to assume, oh, I sell, oh, I'm doing drugs, or that negative impact is towards me. Maybe some of you may not understand, and I'm not saying I care what people think. It's just I know I don't fit a stereotype, and I love I don't fit a stereotype, but I don't want people to put that in a box. If somebody assumes that on their own, it's fine. But him saying that out loud made it more apparent, made it more proof, and that made me feel uncomfortable. And I went up to him and I was like, "Okay, what you said, I know you would never understand this, but being the only black guy here and young, I don't want people to assume anything." And maybe it's just me, but honestly, we're still cool. I just don't want to ever talk about being stoned or high in front of you. Like, I don't even want you to mention the words around me anymore. Like, when it comes to that topic, that subject, we will never discuss this. And it doesn't matter where we are in life, it doesn't matter if we're best friends, we end up being best friends. Well, I didn't say all that, but it doesn't matter if we end up being best friends. When we're around there, when you're around here, when we're in that workplace, I don't even want you to say it because you just mess it up for all of it. It messed up for me. Like you messed up my whole thing. And honestly, I feel like he would never understand because he doesn't understand what if you want to be a successful black man, you have to work 10 times harder. You have to worry about your reputation without actually worrying about your reputation because you want to be able to live. We want to be able to live but not always thinking of surviving. You know what I'm saying? Because me as a black man, I was raised to be on survive mode, and now I'm living my life, and I can what other people think, but I still want to control the narrative a little bit, even though we can't necessarily 100% control the narrative. I still want to be able to control what I can control. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. Maybe I communicated with that coworker wrong, and I should have went about it differently. But it was a one-on-one conversation. I mean, I could tell you what happened after he started acting weird around me, but it's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine. And I was like, okay, if I lose a friend, that's fine. Or I lose, well, it wasn't really a friend. If I lose her, like that conversation, like we still say hello, we still say hi, we still bump fists, but the connection was lost. So it's fine, you know what I mean? But generally, it was okay. Now we can't discuss this, and I feel the type of way. And I got over it as soon. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get over it until the next day, like when I went home. But that whole day, it was just awkward. Like he just, you know what I mean? Like he effed up my high, pretty much. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was the we talking. I'm not sure. We'll discuss this more on a later video, but let me know what you guys think, because I don't know if I'm right or wrong. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I feel better, so I guess I'm right. My self-esteem is better. I feel more confident being me. I feel like I didn't do anything wrong. So maybe I did the right thing, but my whole thing is it shouldn't affect what the other person thinks. Because the other person may start acting weird, may assume a lot of stuff, but that's not mine. That shouldn't be my problem. That shouldn't be my issue. Because I communicated my thoughts and my wants and my needs. Period. And I was okay after that. I mean, the next day I was like, act like everything was normal, and I did me. And then at that point, I already finished my, my research. So I was done with the whole weed process, but I'm glad that was the last day. It wasn't meant to be the last day, but it happened to be the last day. I'm not necessarily saying that I won't ever do it again. I'm just saying pretty much I was doing consistently every single day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes 4 times a day, just to understand the mentality of being in that state of mind, how my emotions felt. We're gonna mostly talk about it. Sorry, I'm getting deeper in that, but communicate your wants and your needs and how you feel. Especially continue to create a boundaries. I went too long in this video, and maybe in the future I may talk more on communication. But with that being said, understand your vulnerability, understand who you are, and understand how to communicate that. Because maybe I went too far in my vulnerability, but sometimes you need to go there in order for people to understand you. Now, other people may assume that a lot of things. I remember when I started communicating my vulnerability, it's like before, I'm going to tell my story one day, but I was depressed 3 or 4 years ago, like deeply depressed. And it took years. 3 or 4 years ago when I noticed I was depressed. But before that, I didn't know. It was like a whole 6-year period that I was depressed and I didn't know it. But nevertheless, 3.5 years ago, when I realized I was depressed and I was suicidal, something changed. You know what I mean? And no one was around to help me. No one understood. No one even knew. No one had no freaking clue. I was just lashing out and just angry at everything. And now I'm happy. I'm explaining my emotions and internally ecstatic about life and loving what I do, because if I didn't go through this, I would never become this person you see here. I would never become Yves Fred. So I would never become a coach if that experience never happened to me. So with that being said, me communicating my vulnerability throughout, learning my vulnerability throughout the past couple of years, is now people like checking up on me. It's right now it's too late, but I love it and I enjoy it. Sometimes we just don't know. It's like when people communicate their emotions, don't assume it's bigger than it is, because it's not. Sometimes when they communicate their emotions, that's what they feel right. When they don't communicate their emotions and they lash it out, that's when we need to be afraid. That's when we need to check in. That's when we need to, okay, you know what? We need to step back and understand why they're upset. That's what we need to be more empathetic and not sympathetic. Because when we're sympathetic, it causes other people to like shut down. It causes other people not to express to you, to be vulnerable to you. When you're empathetic, and okay, you know what? You respect their emotions, you respect their values. Because honestly and true, no one can help someone get emotion. No one can someone get anxiety. There's stuff to help. There's a lot of education to help. And look at my previous videos. There's a lot to help. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's up to us. It's up to us to figure out what our internal happiness is. We gotta figure out what makes us happy. If not, other people will help us. That's why I have videos of how to control your depression, how to control your anxiety, how to go past your comfort zone. Because I believe when you pass your comfort zone, you find out new things about you. You find out new things that makes you happy. You understand? And then once you found all of that, then you become, okay, you know what? It's like you stand by who you are. You get more confident in who you are and what you are. You do, it's like the hardest work and the best work is working on yourself. The hardest and the best work is working on yourself. And we have to understand that we're worth it. Like, if I'm going through so much, I will cut off this video, I'll cut off my income, cut off everything off just to work on me. And that's how everyone should feel about themselves. Cut off everything. Does not matter. Money just buys you options. It does not buy you happiness. What buys you happiness is you taking time for yourself. Is you understanding who you are. And if you don't know, hire a coach. Hire me. You know what I mean? Hire a coach. I'm willing to help. Trust. Because what God has done for me, I need to preach that. I need to teach that. This is why I'm a coach today. But hire a therapist if you don't understand who you are, if you don't understand where it's coming from, what triggers you, why things trigger you so much, why are you so upset, why are you so angry, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of stuff, especially if you're a minority, if you're a woman, which is also a minority, whatever, but especially if you're a minority, and women of color, all minorities, people of color are minorities, people of the LGBTQ family are minorities. Minorities are people, you know what I mean? And then why do we need all help? Because, to be honest, the world is set up that what's not normal, what's not the standard, I shouldn't say normal, what's not the standard of how the world was originally created, whatever is different, we evolve every day, every year, every decade. But the old way does not understand the involvement, does not like change. And that's why we have Women's History Month, that's why we have Black History Month, that's why we have Hispanic Heritage Month. That's why we have all of this, because not a lot of people like change. People are afraid of change. And people don't understand that change is good. A different world is good. We don't want to leave this world worse than it is. We want to leave the world better than we saw it, better than we lived it. As a millennium, I feel like more millenniums are more equality and more like, okay, we choose our happiness versus any other generation. And then we're teaching the younger generation, the Gen Zs and younger than us. You know what I'm saying? And Gen Zs are teaching us as well. And I feel like we're the new political movement. And I'm sorry I'm getting deeper and deeper in that, but this is what I believe. But the first thing we need to do is learn how to communicate. Because we communicate differently. And majority of us assume a lot because there's so much negativity in this world that we assume the worst before we assume the best. And that's okay. But understand why you assume the worst. Understand why. If it's logically, okay. If it's emotionally, then talk about it with someone. Figure out why. Understand why. Understand who you are. And live life. Don't try to survive. Live life. Live it. No matter you could be lower class, poor class, whatever it is. Live life. You could be upper class, rich class, whatever, wealthy class. Live your life. This world is not meant to be survived in. This world is meant to live. And God gave us an opportunity, a gift to live. So then live your life. Make the little moments important. Make the little moments ecstatic. Not everything costs money. Money just buys you options. Sometimes better options. Sometimes not so better options. But money buys you just options. It doesn't buy you happiness. Because if you can't afford to travel, but I could afford to okay, maybe stay at a hotel for a day. That's traveling. That's a vacation. If I can't afford to even afford a hotel, take a day off. Sometimes we can't afford to take a day off, I understand, but figure out a way to live your life without any regrets and understanding your self-love, understanding being selfless and selfish, but in a kind way. Be selfish in a respectful kind way. Next video, please subscribe, comment, like this video, because my next video I'm going to be talking about boundaries. And I went a little bit way too long, so pray for my editor. Hopefully he gets it and edit it on time. But subscribe, comment below, like this video, share it. Let me know what you guys think, because I will be doing this forever. And I'm going to get better and better, and I'll get better faster if you guys tell me what you guys really want. If you guys tell me, critique me. Tell me exactly what you guys think. I want to know, because I'm gonna get better. This is what I want to do forever. This makes me happy. This makes me excited. Changing the world, especially when my clients are excited, they happy, they themselves. It's an amazing thing. So let's go back. Communicate. Next video is boundaries. Like, subscribe, please share. Until next time, guys.